Hello, big welcome to the channel. Unfortunately, I have to start the stream with some really sad news that the Red Bull owner and founder, Dietrich Mateschitz, has unfortunately died. News about half an hour ago that came out. Unfortunately, the Red Bull founder has died, Dietrich Mateschitz. So that has obviously put a different perspective on the whole event. Yeah, crazy. 78 years old he was. Let me just turn the music down. But yeah, we've still kick on with qualifying. But yeah, just yeah, crazy, man. Yeah, pretty much. And like, if you're new to F1 or you don't know about F1, you know, Kim might not be, you might not be fully up to speed. But Red Bull are the biggest team in Formula One, so. For their founder to pass away is massive. So yeah, that's kind of just been announced in the last 20 minutes or so. Just as I was getting ready to come live, they had a big there was a big gathering in the Red Bull hospitality unit, and what they thought initially was, right, this is going to be a big announcement about this budget cap breach. Well, the rumour of this budget cap breach, which, by the way, I think is going to turn out to be a load of rubbish. I think this whole thing about Red Bull cheating and all the accusations, I think from hearing what Christian Horner was saying this morning and this afternoon, I think it's going to turn out to be a load of rubbish. I don't think they've cheated. And yeah, and then so everyone thought that there was going to be this big press conference was gathering to announce about this budget cap overspend rumour, to address it and, you know, give an update on it. No, unfortunately, much worse than that. But yeah, sad news. But qualifying will continue as normal, and I'm here to update everyone on that. So let's get the headphones on. Let's see what they're talking about here. Let me refresh the live timings. There we go. So we've got the drives on screen there. Yeah, so qualifying is due to start in about 10 minutes time. So the show goes on. But yeah, it does brings a different flavour to the weekend now. Does that. And the strange irony of this happening on the weekend that Red Bull are going to win the team's championship. Crazy. Red Bull are right on the cusp of winning the Constructors' Championship. I think it'd be the first time they win the Constructors' Championship since 2013, because I think last year, even though Verstappen won the Drivers' Championship, Mercedes still came away with the Team's Championship. So it'll be the first Red Bull Constructors' Championship win since 2013. So it's a massive moment for the brand. And the day before, the founder has sadly passed away. Crazy timing. Yes, Sean, how are we doing? Come on, Max. Well, yeah, I mean, I've got my Ferrari jumper on today, but I'll have to say come on, Max, especially with the breaking news. Yeah, it is a sad one. But we're going to get underway very shortly. And it looks like it's going to be a good, it's going to be a great qualifying session. If practice is anything to go by, practice 3 a couple of hours ago, really competitive, really close at the front. At one point, there was less than half a tenth of a second between the top 3. And that was 3 different cars as well. There was less than a tenth of a second between a Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes. So have we got a 6-way fight for pole position? That's what I've wanted all season. 6-way fight for the wins and for the pole positions. Those top 3 teams. Maybe today we get it. Verstappen did lay a bit of a gauntlet down right at the end of the session with 30 seconds to go. He crossed the line and went 3.5 tenths quicker than everyone. But yeah, we've got some stats here. 2022 United States Grand Prix. The leading driver in FP3 has taken pole at the last 2 weekends. So Verstappen was quickest in FP3 a couple of hours ago. So he's probably favourite for pole. And Yeah, that would kind of make sense. Top three predictions. What, for quali or for the race, Simon? But yeah, top three for quali. I'll go Lewis, third, Leclerc. Well, no, actually, Leclerc, they might not bother because as I've got going scrolling along the bottom, there's a few drivers with grid penalties. So you've got Charles Leclerc with the most severe one, with a 10-place grid penalty. So if Leclerc bangs it on pole position, he'd be starting P11 on the grid for the race. So Leclerc could be P11 at best tomorrow for the race. The race is earlier than qualifying. So the race is going to be 8 p.m. start tomorrow night. I'll be live from 7:30. I'll do a bit of a preview and a rundown of all the teams and all the rest of it. So yeah, 8 p.m. start for the race tomorrow. And yeah, a few drivers with grid penalties. So you've got Leclerc, as I was just saying, with a 10-place grid penalty. Then you've got Perez with a 5-place. Alonso with a 5-place. I think it is Zhou Guanyu as well with a 5-place. So yeah, I think... So bearing that in mind, Ferrari may not go... Ferrari may just pull a different strategy out of the bag with knowing that Leclerc's going to be taking a big penalty. You know, we've seen drivers that get big penalties like that, and the teams just sort of pull the plug and sort of say, right, you've got a 10th place. We might as well start in the pit lane and have new everything. So I don't know if they'll do that with Leclerc, but Leclerc's going to be P11 at best. So predicting him in the top three is kind of pointless. So I'll go, well, for qualifying anyway. I mean, he could fight his way through in the race, but for quali, I'll go. When it's ironed itself out and the grid penalties have been given, I'll go Hamilton, Sainz, Verstappen P1. Yeah, I'll go. So I did that in reverse order. So yeah, I'll go Hamilton third, Sainz second, Verstappen first. Yeah. Yeah, but that'll be my prediction for quali. For the race, I want chaos. For the race, I want chaos tomorrow. I want chaos and a Hamilton win tomorrow. I want gloves off. The championship's been sewn up. The Constructors' Championship's about to be sewn up. So I reckon, and sometimes I was saying yesterday, even though the championship's over in terms of the drivers, that can often breed great races because it is sort of like the pressure's off, let's just have fun, and people go full dive bomb send that you wouldn't do if the championship was up for grabs. You've really got to be careful. You know, if the championship goes down to the final race, you've got to be, you got to be careful. Everything, is very significant. But now it's kind of like they can sort of race for fun in a way. Like, obviously, it still matters. Obviously, you've got the battles for like P4 with Alpine and McLaren and stuff. Obviously, it still matters. But the gloves can be off a little bit. And we might have four, I hope we have 4 great races now to round off the season. Yeah, Lewis won, Russell. Yeah, Mercedes won too. Yeah, back that. And I sat here, I just stood here in my flipping Ferrari top going. A Mercedes won too would be great, but I'm neutral. I've only got this on because... I thought, why not? Ferrari need a bit of support, don't they? They've thrown away this season. Hamilton pole, I'd love that, Carl. Yeah, I'd back that. I'd love that. Yeah. Lewis pole would really be... It would be his one of his best poles of his career. And like I was saying, I think he's won this race 5 times. If he was to win it this year, it would be definitely his best race in the US. It would be his best victory in America if he won it this year. I'm lit. Back in the pub. Come on, Max. You're back in the pub, is it, Anto? You've been on a mad couple of days. What else? Been and out. Oh yeah. No worries, Sean. No worries. I get you. You're on a Call of Duty one. I get you, bro. No worries. You won't see me tomorrow. Oh, come on, Anto. We've got to see you tomorrow. You got to come back for the race, don't you? It's a weird phenomenon of this channel that the practice sessions get more views than the race. Work that one out. I reckon it's because the practice sessions don't clash with the football, whereas the races do. That's it. But yeah, we are almost ready for quali. Q1 starts in about 2 minutes time. But yeah, I back that, Anto. Mercedes 1-2. Saw something saying Logan Sargent. Yes, Carl. And he's right there. It is as it scrolls underneath me. Pending him getting the enough super license points, which I think I should have read up on this properly, but I think if he finishes in the top 5 in the F2 Championship or top 6, it's either he finishes top 5 or top 6 in the F2 Championship, he'll have enough super license points to then be allowed to race in Formula 1. It's to stop randomers with millions coming in and going, yeah, I'll be an F1 driver, slap down 100 million, 16 years of age and jump in. Like, no, like there's got to be a process. You've got to earn your way into Formula 1 and prove that you're good enough in the junior categories. So they've got a point system, and Logan Sargent is on the cusp of having enough super license points to be allowed. So what's happened is Williams has said, sort of, provided you get enough points, you get the seat for 2023. And he will. I think he's 3rd in the championship at the moment. And he's looking like he's going to easily finish in that top 5 or 6 in the F2 championship to get enough points that he needs. It's 99% certain that Logan Sargent will be driving for Williams next year alongside Alexander Albon. So Latifi is gone. Sebastian Vettel, gone. Daniel Ricciardo, gone. Mick Schumacher, probably gone. Mick's my guy, but he's probably gone, man. He's probably gone. Unless Mick's hope and only hope is that there's 4 races left. He's got to score points. He's got to score points, and then this race and Mexico next weekend are crucial for Mick Schumacher's Formula 1 career. I think if Mick finishes an anonymous P17 here and crashes out in Mexico, or another anonymous P16 finish in Mexico, I think he's done. I think he's clinging on by the skin of his teeth, is Mick Schumacher. Unfortunately. But yeah, I hope that he gets, obviously with Logan Sargent being confirmed at Williams, Mick's only chance at being in Formula 1 now is if Haas keep him on. So the options are running out. For me. I was hoping and I was thinking that Mick was going to switch to Williams. I was thinking, right, Haas are going to drop him, but Williams are going to pick him up. No, Williams are getting Logan Sargent, American youngster. So Mick's only hope is that Haas keep him on. Yeah, no worries, Kim. But yeah, the qualifying 1 is underway. 18-minute session. So, I say this every time, but I like to account for people who have perhaps never watched Formula 1 before and are not really up to speed with how qualifying works. So, Formula 1 qualifying. How does it work? So, qualifying in Formula 1 is split into 3 sessions. Q1, Q2 and Q3. Q1 is an 18-minute session. That's the session that's just kicked off right now. At the end of which, the drivers with the slowest 5 times will be knocked out and their grid position will be set for the Grand Prix tomorrow. Then, the top 15 go through to Q2. They then compete in a 15-minute session, at the end of which the slowest 5 drivers will be knocked out from 11th through 15th, and their grid position will be set. Then we go for a top 10 shootout, Q3. That's a 12-minute session, and that is the fight for pole. The top 10 take part in that, and that's where you go for the big pole position. Who's it going to be? Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez with the grid penalty? Doubtful. Hamilton, Russell, like in Hungary. I remember Russell getting the pole position in Hungary was mad. Also, with the grid penalties for Leclerc and Perez, it's a big opportunity for someone like Alonso. Well, Alonso's got a grid penalty as well. So let me restate that. It's a big opportunity for Mercedes and potentially Ocon, potentially a McLaren, to get into that the top 3 or 4 in qualifying today once the penalties have all been given out. Hiya Farhan, how are you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream. Q1 is underway. We're 2.5 minutes into it. And Zhou Guanyu going to be the first one to set a flying lap time. He's in Sector 1 at the minute. Sector 1, I think, inspired by Silverstone's Maggots and Beckett's section. Although it looks a bit of Suzuka as well. But when they first built this track in 2012, they did say in the commentary that I think that Sector 1 is inspired by the Silverstone circuit. But yeah, Zhou Guanyu is the first man on the flying lap, so obviously he's gone purple Sector 1 because he's the only man who's done Sector 1. Latifi's behind him. DRS open all the way up the hill, resurfaced back straight there into turn 12. And yeah, so the more relevant question in Q1, rather than who's going to get pole position, is who's going to get knocked out. We're on board. Helmet cam, Zhou Guanyu. Helmet cam seems to be really catching on now. I feel like a lot of drivers are running this helmet cam, and Zhou Guanyu's special edition US Grand Prix lid is looking mint. And so Zhou Guanyu goes provisionally quickest, but is immediately beaten by Mick Schumacher. Let me just make sure I might have to refresh these live timings, as is the norm. You know it is with the live timings, predictably unreliable. We are on board with Kevin Magnussen round the final couple of corners. Haas announcing a huge sponsorship deal for 2023. They have secured title sponsor MoneyGram. It's already on the car, actually, the sponsor, but for next season, Haas will become MoneyGram Haas F1 as Magnussen crosses the line, 4th fastest. So it's Schumacher, Zhou, Albon, Magnussen, top 4. I'll take that as a top 4 in the race tomorrow, but you get 1,000,000 to 1 on that. There we go. Now the live timings decide to work. Yeah, we're flipping 5 minutes into the session. The live timings go, yeah, do you know what? We'll work. So yeah, that's on. The 4 drivers that have set the lap time all on the soft tyre, as the Red Bulls look like they're winding up for a lap. And they're really nursing the tyres on the outlap. It's kind of dangerous how much they nurse the tyres on the outlap, because if they're going round really slowly and someone's on a flying lap, the speed differential is going to be frightening. I think they need to introduce a minimum lap time. Well, I think there is a minimum lap time, but they need to increase, But yeah, Verstappen underway then for his first flying lap of the day. Well, first flying lap of qualifying. And look at that Sector 1. Look at how it turns in, that Red Bull. Fastest car on the grid. And yeah, the front downforce is fantastic. And Verstappen goes purple Sector 1, then fastest of anybody. As we've got a dual cam going on, we can see Leclerc in turn 7 as Leclerc beats Verstappen's time in Sector 1 then, so it's now Leclerc purple Sector 1. I think they're right in the fight for pole. It's a shame that Leclerc's got this 10 place grid penalty looming over him. Leclerc could slap it on pole regardless of the penalty and then start P11. We've seen that before, where the driver who puts it on pole position doesn't necessarily start there in the race the next day. I think Schumacher got it on pole once in Monaco, but had a grid penalty and couldn't start there. Wounded. But yeah, here comes Verstappen round the final corner then, and he'll go quickest by 2 seconds over Mick Schumacher's time. So he's put everyone in the bin. But a more representative driver, Sergio Perez, crosses the line 0.3 slower than Verstappen. And here comes Charles Leclerc then round the final corner, struggling with the back end, and goes quicker by 69 thousandths of a second. Game on. Leclerc versus Verstappen. It's such a shame. I'm going to be saying this all at night, but it's such a shame that Leclerc's got this grid penalty. IRSHT, how we doing? Ferrari, Master Blan as always. Hey, listen. I've got to start supporting Ferrari. You know what I mean? I've got to try and G them up a little bit. They're having a nightmare this season. But Russell goes P4. Stroll is now P5, but a full second off the pace. Here comes Lewis Hamilton then into the final corner. Careful on the exit. That's nice and neat and tidy. And goes P3 then. So it's Leclerc, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Russell, Stroll, Norris, Schumacher, Zhou, Albon, top 10 so far. Only 11 drivers have set a time, and there's only 9.5 minutes to go in Q1. So you better get on with it, guys. Bold prediction for quali. That's a good one. I'll go Ocon to start on the second row once it's all ironed out with the penalties. Yeah, so maybe I'll go yeah, Ocon to, well, it's not really that bold, is it? Alright, I'll go bold. Hamilton pole, I'll go bold. Yeah. Or Ocon second row of the grid. Is that good enough? Oh, well, no, scratch that. Ocon goes 12th. 1.4 seconds off the pace. It's just warming up yet. It's warming up yet. Yeah, Martin just reiterating the fact that Q1 is not to set the grid at the front end. It's to set the back 5 positions on the grid, basically. So yeah, 15th, well, 16th through to 20th get knocked out at the end of this session as Max Verstappen complaining about traffic into the final corner. Sainz has gone purple sector 1, so Sainz is on a flyer into turn 12, 13, green sector 2, personal best, but not fastest of anybody. So it's Leclerc, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Russell, Alonso P6, Bottas P7. But there's a big gap between Alonso and Bottas, a half a second between P6 and P7. I reckon people are going to slot themselves into that. What's your bold prediction, SHT? Or anybody else? Let's have some bold predictions. And I don't mean like a Kevin Magnussen poll kind of a bold. I mean like something that could... something that's possible. So Sainz has pulled together a phenomenal lap and goes half a second clear of the entire field. A 1 minute 35.3 or just under. Absolutely smashes Leclerc out of the park. Half a second. 0.6 quicker than Verstappen and nearly a second quicker than Hamilton, Perez and Russell. Sainz with the lap. As we go watching Nicholas Latifi round the final couple of corners then. Go on, Nicky. Bang it on pole, lad. You've only got 4 races left. You might as well go for it. Latifi goes P16 with that and still in the knockout zone. So yeah, you want to avoid being 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th or 20th. That is the goal. You've got to be in that top 15 to progress. Vettel into Q3. Oh, that's not that bold. That's standard now. Aston Martin are decent. Yeah, there's the news about Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent will race for Williams in 2023 if he secures his super license by the end of the season, which he should do. I think you've got to finish, like I was saying, I think you've got to finish top 5 or top 6 in the F2 championship. which he looks like he will do. So yeah, we've got Sainz Leclerc 1-2 at the minute. So Ferrari looking good. I have no idea what you're saying there. That is some sort of... I don't even know how to say your name, but welcome to the stream. Ricardo 19th at the moment, well down the order. Yeah, man. Crazy times, bro. What's happening with Ricardo next year, guys? What are we saying? What's the predictions? Is he going to be Mercedes reserve / test / backup / standing in the garage for a year? Really? I think Ricciardo would be better off racing in a different category. Surely. If I was Daniel Ricciardo, right, am I going to stand in the Mercedes garage for a year, hoping and praying that I get a chance in 2024? Or am I going to just say, right, that was a chapter of my career, on to the next chapter of my career, and go to America? Or you could do V8 supercars in Australia. Well, no, that might be a bit insulting. But no, I reckon he could just be a boss in a different category. Like, look what Marcus Ericsson has done. You know, he's just ditched it all off, and now he's Indy 500 champion. So I think Daniel Ricciardo should go to America. Or Formula E it. Although I can't stand Formula E, but he might love it. Formula E it, Daniel. I don't back this idea of him being a reserve driver. Like, is he really going to be a Mercedes reserve and then get a seat in 2024? I don't think so. I mean, good luck with that one. Yeah, IndyCar, definite. That's what I'd do if I was him. I'd be like, right, you don't want me, I'll prove I'm good enough in a different category. And Showtime got deleted for exceeding track limits. Yeah, that's a difficult one for Show Guan Yu. Yes, Ernesto, how are we doing? That's your boy Sainz in P1 by half a second, Ernesto. He's absolutely smashing him. He smashed him out of the park. He set the early gauntlet to the rest of the field and said, I'm here and I'm on it today. I've had one victory this year, but I want two. Yes, Sainz with a 35.3. And everyone's going out now for one more run in Q1. This is going to be a busy end to Q1 with all... Well, okay, so the top eight have decided that their time's good enough to stay in. So Bottas is on a gamble there, is he not? In P8, a second and a half off the pace. He's decided, oh no, so now the Mercedes boys are going, no, everyone's going back out, man. No, everyone's going back out. I thought Bottas was gonna risk it, but they're not. So now we've got I think the Ferraris are all right. The Ferraris are staying in the pits, and the Red Bulls. Yeah. So yeah, Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez, who are first, second, third, and fifth, are all staying in the garage. They don't need to put the panic station button. They don't need to call an emergency panic and go out there. They can chill in the garage, but everybody else is out there. So the other 16 cars are out there to have one more go in Q1 and avoid being in that bottom five. Ernesto's in. Ernesto Tiesto on a Saturday night. Finishing your making cupcakes. Oh, send me one. There's Jamie Chadwick in the, I think in the Williams garage, was it? Now, Jamie Chadwick is on a different level. She should be put into Formula 3 or even F2. I think she's wasted as in W Series and all the rest of it. I think stick Jamie Chadwick in F2. Seriously. She needs back in with serious sponsors and given a chance. Because she's won virtually every single W Series race that there's ever been. She's probably won. Let's say there's been like 30 races in the whole of W Series history. She's probably won like 26 of them or something. It's ridiculous. Give her a chance in the big time. Anyway, that's another rant for another day. Here's Yuki Tsunoda on a good lap down into turn 11 hairpin. A minute to go in Q1, at the end of which the slowest 5 drivers will be knocked out. In that bottom 5 at the moment then is Yuki Tsunoda, Alex Albon, Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen and Zhou Guanyu. They all need to improve. Latifi's on the bubble in P15. He survives at the moment, but that's all going to change. Very quickly that is going to change. What does it mean when the race has got the names? Right, that means they're in the pits. So if the name is in bright white, they're out on circuit. If it's dimmed out, they're sat in the garage. So yeah, so Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen and Perez are all in the garage because they feel they don't need to improve the time to get through to the next session, which they're probably right. So they don't need to burn up another set of tyres. They can just chill in the garage whilst these guys panic and scramble around trying to get out of that bottom 5. And Tsunoda does get out of the bottom 5. So P9 for Tsunoda. He might be safe with that, but Gasly's gone P8. So Gasly, I'd say Gasly's safe there, P8. Here we go then, Daniel Ricciardo into the final corner. He's currently P18, needs to improve to move on to Q2 and does. Only P13 for Daniel Ricciardo. He might still be in trouble there. Stroll only 12th as well. He might get beaten. So Ocon, I tell you what, I said Ocon front 2 rows, forget that. He's P14 and under pressure. Made that P15 as Magnussen goes 13th with a good lap. We cut to Zhou Guanyu going around turn 16 flat out in the Alfa Romeo. Norris goes P8 and is safe. Oh, the Ricciardo's under pressure here. Ocon's out. Esteban Ocon has been knocked out in Q1 here. Esteban Ocon's out, so forget about my prediction. I'm in the bin. Zhou Guanyu goes P10. Great lap for Zhou Guanyu. Ricciardo and Ocon are both out. Magnussen's out. Albon's through. Albon's through. So Magnussen out. Ricciardo out. Ocon out. Schumacher out. Oh, come on, Mick. You're taking the mick. Oh, my God. He's fighting for his career and you're going to qualify P19. Latifi last. I don't even need to tell you that. But it's Mick 19th. Come on, man. You're fighting for your life. Please. I tell you what. Martin Brundle's just called Daniel Ricciardo Ricard. But yeah, Ricard is P18 and out. Good old Ricard. Paul Ricard. I've heard of that circuit, but I've not heard of... Well... Mick Schumacher, on his final flying lap, has gone into turn 1, lost the rear end and spun 360 degrees. Oh, Mick. You're not going to be here next year, bro. You're not going to be here next year. He's not going to be here next year, man. Elmacher. Yeah, rip. I will rally. Welcome in. Easy out. What do you think 2023 Mercedes? He's crazy, man. What's Ocon doing? Ocon's out. Ricciardo's out. Alpine with the fact that Alonso... It is going to cost Alpine. The thing is, why is Ocon P18? I mean, we know about Daniel Ricciardo. He's had a horrible season. I mean, to be honest... He's had a horrible 2 or 3 years, really. So it's not a massive shock. It's disappointing that Ricciardo's been knocked out, but it's not the biggest shock in the world. What is a big shock is Esteban Ocon, P18, out. Both Astons are through. Albon scraped through. Get in there, Alexander Albon. Tsunoda through. He gets knocked out more often than not in Q1. So big up Yuki Tsunoda getting through. But Mick P19 is disappointing as well. You know, he's Drive to Survive, just like the Netflix series. Mick Schumacher's a Drive to Survive at the moment. P19 is not going to do him any favours whatsoever. Yeah, Ocon, bad one. Yeah, worst qualifying of the season. It's got to be, hasn't it? You know, Mick Schumacher's going to do sometimes spins, sometimes amazing performances. I wish the amazing performance outweighed the spins, but it just doesn't, unfortunately. He's my favourite driver. Anyone that watches these streams knows Mick is my boy. But I've got to admit, I don't think it's turning out how I'd hoped. It's not turning out how I'd hoped. And the thing is, when it was like British Grand Prix, Austrian Grand Prix, and Haas were finishing like 6th and 8th, I think Mick was 6th at the British Grand Prix. It was either that one or Austria. And I was like, this is it, we're on. I was thinking, this is it. You know, I thought, right, he's turned a corner now. Bang, we're in a Mick Schumacher era. Nope. Flash in the pan. One trick pony. Skin and bone. Ocon with the upgraded floor out in Q1. Has he got an upgrade as well? Alonso without the upgraded floor. And Alonso's out-qualified him by a big chunk. Mad. Albon, good driver in a crap Williams. Yeah, he is, man. Albon's underrated. Yeah. But he'll be happy at Williams for now. Gives him some stability in his career after the whole Red Bull Junior program kind of scenario that Alex was in. Kind of like the Pierre Gasly thing where you promoted and then you dropped and then you dropped from there and then you promoted and it's a whole mess. So he'll be glad that he's out of that he's out of that system and he's building his own career at Williams. But I hope he doesn't stay there forever, but he'll do a couple of years and then see where we go. See where we go from there. But I think, as well, I think if Mick's not here next season, I'll probably support Alex. Alex is probably my second favourite driver, to be fair. Alex or George. Yeah, probably. I mean, if I support George, I'll probably at least be celebrating some wins at some point. If I supported Alex, it might be a long game. Do you know what I mean? No, Alex is probably the most relatable. I feel like Alexander Albon is the most normal out of all the drivers, the most like just a regular guy. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't imagine being friends with like Hamilton or like Verstappen or like... But I can imagine being mates with Alexander Albon. He just seems like a normal bloke. He's not like a superstar celebrity. You know what I mean? He's not a fake guy. He's just a normal bloke. I remember him saying a couple of seasons ago, he's like, my mum comes to all my races because she doesn't know how long I'm going to be doing this for. It's like, bro, like, what do you mean? You got to have faith in your own career, don't you? It's like, don't know how many races I'm going to get, so my mum comes to all of them. Like, what? It's just a normal guy. That's what I love about Alex. So I'll probably support Alex if Mick's not here next year. Album better to Whiskey King's slinging these trolls. What is the trolls? I haven't seen any trolls. There was someone who wrote something in like Russian or Arabic or something, but I don't know if you call them a troll. Maybe they were just saying hello, you know. I couldn't understand it. Alpine don't want to keep Alonso after all this. Seriously, I don't know what this team are thinking. Hey, listen. He might have pulled out a flipping good move there, Alonso, going to Aston. Watch Aston turn up next season and be like, boom. Rapid. Yeah. Be good to see. Alonso finally making a right call to move teams in his career would be decent because Alonso's had a few shockers moving teams. It was me. Oh, you blocked him. Oh, Real Rally's blocked him. He hasn't got the... Oh, he might have blocked him for himself, innit? But, thanks, Ernesto. Cream butter icing on your fingers. Yeah, Kim's otherwise occupied. She's on a fairy cake one. Kim, are you going to sell them down the fair? 20p each. Come on, send me a box of them. What we're saying, Piastri will instantly do well at McLaren. I think so as well, man. I think Piastri's going to turn up. next season and put Norris under massive pressure straight away. I don't think they're going to get on. You know, Norris has got this like persona of like being like all friendly and like jokey and that. When Piastri turns up and starts being competitive, Norris, all of a sudden you're going to see Lando Norris serious face. Yeah, there's not going to be any more meme Lando Norris next year goofing around and like pretending he's like joking around. Nah, Lando Norris is going to have to switch it on next year, and he's going to have to grit his teeth, put a serious face on, and beat Oscar Piastri, because that ain't going to be easy. He can't joke his way around next year. Oh, he's got a fight on his hands. Piastri's going to want to come in as a whirlwind and establish himself as a top dog. And I can't wait for it. I can't wait. Is it Stroll and Alonso at Aston? It is. It is. Although I'd put the names the other way around. It's Alonso and Stroll. I wouldn't put Stroll first. Yeah, Stroll and Alonso next year. Yeah. Anyway, Q2's underway. I'll start talking about that in a minute. Let's see. There's a couple more comments come through. But yeah, they're just everyone's coming out of the garage now to start the first flying laps of Q2. I won't expect Piastri to do very well immediately. Oh, I will. I've got high expectations, me. Do you remember when Lewis arrived in 07 and was quick immediately and stuffed it down the inside in turn 1 at his first ever Grand Prix? Oh no, he went round the outside of Alonso, didn't he? In his first ever race, his first corner, his first race. I'm expecting that from Piastri. I'm probably expecting too much, but I feel like there's so much hype that either delivers or it looks a bit stupid. Do you know what I mean? Especially with the whole Alpine, that he put Alpine in the bin fighting, or else it just looks weird. So I back him. I back Piastri, just turn up and be on it. Yeah. So get in. Piastri will be good. Yeah, I hope so. Ricciardo McLaren just doesn't go. No, it doesn't. The thing is, though, Will Rally, Ricciardo and Renault didn't really go. He did get a couple of podiums in, I think it was 2019, but overall it wasn't really a big success, was it? Ricciardo Renault. So has anything worked for Ricciardo since he left Red Bull? He's had a couple of flashes here and there, but in general, no. In general, no. It's been downhill. Stroll has not been that bad lately. Yeah, I actually rate him. You know, obviously people think that he's there just for the money. Well, just because of the money and all the rest of it. But no, I think Stroll's decent, you know. I wouldn't put him in that top elite bracket with, you know, Max and Charles and Lewis and that. I wouldn't put him in that top bracket, but he's decent enough to deserve a seat. Whether he's got backing or not, Stroll deserves to be there. So get in. What else? So where's left 3 seats? Haas, that's it. With this Logan Sargent announcement, the only free seat is Haas, and I think Haas are looking at Hülkenberg or Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi had basically a job interview on Friday and stuffed it in the wall after 7 minutes. So Giovinazzi kind of fluffed the job interview. So maybe Hülkenberg will get it, but I hope they stick with Mick. Anyway, we've got a replay on board with Pierre Gasly going up the hill into turn 1 with the biggest flag in the world on the outside. Locks up. Tried my best. Pierre Gasly locking up both fronts into turn 1 going up the hill. Going wide and coming on the team radio and going, I tried my best. I tried my best. It didn't work. Can I just park it now? On a different note, Latifi's leaving, yeah, but they're getting Logan Sargent, so there's only 1 seat, and it's the Haas. On a different note, who the fuck's in the red? Oh, I don't know about football. Aston in the first half of the season got knocked out in Q1. Yeah, they're definitely probably most improved team, Aston Martin. I mean, other than Mercedes, that's kind of an obvious choice. Mercedes might be most improved, considering the porpoising and all the rest of it. But Aston Martin really have come on strong. As a couple of teams have faded, you know, Alfa Romeo have really faded, as well as Haas have faded. AlphaTauri were never really good from the beginning. But Aston Martin have come on strong, yeah. K-Mag at Haas 2023. Yeah, it's weird. I never saw anything about that, but it's just kind of assumed. I don't know when Kevin re-signed. Maybe he signed a 2-year deal, because that position's never been under question. So maybe Kevin was already signed up for next year. So yeah, I don't know. Sergeant Williams, yeah, he will be. It's not 100% confirmed that, because it's with a stipulation of him getting enough super license points, but he'll get that and he'll get the seat. So yeah, Russell goes quickest on 35.6 by a full second with 7.5 minutes to go in Q2. Verstappen improves and goes quickest with a 1 minute 35.294. Hamilton goes P3 now as Leclerc crosses the line and goes quicker than Verstappen by 0.5 tenth. Okay. Alonso goes P5, so everyone's getting the first runs in now as Sainz goes P3 then. So it's Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz now, top three. Leclerc and Verstappen in their own league out there. Sainz a full 3.5 tenths off. Russell 0.5 second off the pace in P4. But yeah, at the end of this session in just under 7 minutes, P11 through to 15th will be knocked out and their group position will be set. We're seeing a replay on board with Sebastian Vettel in turn 9. Oh, so... Or is that turn 9? Yeah, because turn 10, I think, is the kink down the hill. So yeah, turn 9, Sebastian Vettel ran too wide. All four wheels over the white line and lap time deleted, I assume. Yeah, no time. It was shocking. I don't know what happened. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. The K-Mag and Schumacher, yeah. Will Rally, K-Mag, as far as I know, has always been confirmed. I think he signed I think it's a 2-year deal or whatever, but K-Mag's position's never been under scrutiny, but Mick is not signed up for next year. That's still in the air. TBC, to be confirmed, Mick Schumacher. So, I don't know. They're looking at Giovinazzi. They're looking at Hulkenberg. But we'll see. I hope Mick keeps it. Because Sky said Ricciardo can go to Haas. Nah, Ricciardo won't be driving in Formula 1 next season. He might be in the paddock in terms of he might be a reserve driver for someone, test driver, whatever you want to call it. Basically standing in the garage staring at data. Farrell's is in the Ferrari garage with the weirdest set of sunglasses I've ever seen in my life. Fashion. The race tomorrow, I think we're going to see Alonso number of cars. Alonso numbers of cars. Oh, overtake, yeah. Well, Alonso will come through, man. So will Leclerc. Well, should do. Leclerc, the weird thing is, Leclerc might set the fastest time and then be immediately slung to 11th on the grid, which is sort of a bit bittersweet. Schumacher not confirmed. No, it's not, unfortunately. I think it's looking bleak. Unfortunately, it's looking bleak. I think it's looking bleak, man. And I'm a Mick Schumacher fan. He's my favourite driver, and he's helicopter pilot for the win. Yeah, watch you don't hit that flag. You know what I mean? Flying helicopter around this circuit, you've got to be careful. The biggest US flag ever. Up at turn 1. Pharrell the singer, yeah. He wears a big hat. Yeah, man, he's got a weird set of sunglasses on, that's all I know. Because he's happy. Now with the new ICE on his car. Alonso, yeah, he have the bonus horsepower, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? 1,000 brake horsepower. Alonso might have 1,010. No, I don't know the difference. In fact, they never really stipulate what the performance difference is between an engine that's done like 8 or 9 races and a brand new one. They never really stipulate like, oh, it's lost 5 brake horsepower. They never really... There's no hard facts on that as far as I know. It's just kind of... You're a little bit quicker if you've got a brand new engine, but it's never really like, oh, it loses 10 horsepower over the 9 races, or loses 2 horsepower. I don't know. But Alonso with a fresh one anyway. Alonso's on a fresh engine. So he's going to fight through for the win. Is he not SHT? Do you back Fernando for the win? He'll start about 12th. He can win it from there, can't he? He would have done in his Ferrari days. Do you remember him winning from 14th in Valencia? Yeah, that's when I was a big Alonso fan. Back in them days, when he won from 14th in Valencia, mate, and he was there with his Spanish flag, and that was heroic. I was in tears. That was epic, man. He had some epic years. That's when this jumper come out, you know, right? That's when this jumper was new, you know, when Alonso won in Valencia about 12 years ago. Oh, heavy. Good point, Carl. What's Carl? Yeah, could Ricardo not sign with Haas for 1 season, look for a better team? I think it potentially could have been an option, but it's not turned out that way. Right, so anyway, right. I've been on a waffle. Let's talk about what's happening on circuit, because there's a minute and a half to go in Q2, and Gasly is on his final attempt then in P14. So drivers under pressure then. Albon, Tsunoda, Stroll, Gasly, Vettel. So you got both AlphaTauris, both Aston Martins and the Williams of Albon in that bottom 5, and they've got a minute to get out of that bottom 5. So we're on board with Pierre Gasly coming through sector 1. And now down the hill towards the turn 11, hairpin. He's personal best, sector 1, as is Sebastian Vettel behind. So we're about to see both Alfa Romeos, as it stands, are in the top 10 and through to the pole position shootout. But it's all going to change. Albon crosses the line, goes up to P8 then, so Albon improves. Albon's having a great session. Even if Albon gets knocked out, he's not going to be 15th, is he? Albon could get in the top 10 here. Cool stream. Cheers, man. Sky, 5 Live. Oh, I'm better than 5 Live. Well, no, not yet. Give it 2 or 3 years. Fair enough. Got a totally different program. I'll keep you updated, Kim. You don't even have to watch it. You know what I mean? I'll keep you updated. Tsunoda goes P9 then, as we're watching Pierre Gasly come round the final corner to the line then and goes 10th. Okay, so wow, he ain't going to survive from there. No, it's not going to be enough for Pierre Gasly, and he's out. So Gasly's out. Vettel goes 9th, but that's a bit precarious. Alonso might be safe there, 7th. Oh, Stroll goes P7 then. Stroll's going to be through with that. Stroll's going to be through. Norris goes P9. So Vettel and Gasly are definitely out then. Vettel and Gasly have definitely been knocked out. Here comes Valtteri Bottas into the final corner. He's currently 13th, needs to improve. And Dawes goes P9, knocks Albon out. So Bottas safe for now. Alonso's safe. Stroll's definitely safe. Here comes Alonso to the line then. Is he even going to improve? Alonso beats Stroll, then goes P7. So they're through. Alonso, Stroll and Bottas are safe. Zhou goes 9th. Wow, I tell you what, Zhou Guanyu is coming on strong, you know. P9. I think Tsunoda and Albon are out. Hamilton doesn't even need to complete the lap. They're through. So both Alfa Romeos are through. I don't know what's happening with Yuki Tsunoda. I think he's out, man. So Norris is out. Norris is out. Stroll and Zhou are through. McLaren are going to line up 11th and 18th. Horrible. The thing is, so Alonso P7, so he'll start 12th, which is what I said. Alonso will win it from 12th. Whoa, what's just happened there? Wait. Something's... No, Zhou's lap time's been deleted. Oh, Zhou Guanyu's lost his lap time. So Norris is through. Oh, Zhou Guanyu's exceeded track limits. Can't spell his name. Who are we on about? Yeah, I know you will. No worries. Dishes to wash up. Albon doing well in that car is awful. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. I know. I thought he'd got through, but his lap time's been deleted. So Zhou Guanyu's out, man. Heavy one. Yeah, we're watching a replay on board with Pierre Gasly. Why do we keep having problems with turn one? Oh my. Yeah, Pierre Gasly not happy with his brakes, to say the least. He's not happy with his heavy braking. They seem to struggle with brakes, AlphaTauri. When he's under heavy braking, he tends to lock the front wheels. Surely is that not the brake bias? I don't know, but so that's it then. The 5 drivers knocked out were Albon, Vettel, Gasly, Zhou, Tsunoda. Gutted Knights would have been amazing. I know. If Zhou Guanyu getting through to Q3 would have been noteworthy. No, it would have been good, man. Yeah, because he's sort of he's doing a lot better the second half of the season, I feel like, than the first half of the season. Maybe that's just my perception of it. Maybe the stats would put that statement in the bin. I don't know, but I feel like Zhou Guanyu's been better in the second half. As is normal, man. If you're a rookie, you're thrown in at the deep end. You know, it's going to take a few races to get a hold of it. But yeah, I feel like he's nearly on par with Bottas now. Especially in qualifying, he seems to be pretty decent. Is this track the one uphill to corner one? Correct, it is. And widest corner ever. Widest corner ever. I don't know widest corner ever, but yeah, there's a few wide corners, yeah. Yeah, it is that one. Uphill to turn 1. And then, like, hairpin left, yeah. Yeah, steep uphill into turn 1. There is a few wide corners, yeah. Down to turn 11, they've made it really wide. I think it was India that was the first track to do that. They don't even race in India anymore. But I think India was the first track to sort of, when you've got like a heavy braking zone, make the track really wide so that it promotes the opportunity of people just going for a big lunge. Try and promote the big lunge. And that's kind of what they've done with the track design. Yeah, it's really wide at turn 11. And where else? Turn 14 as well. Because you take a weird line into 14 as well, where you're right on the outside and then cut in late onto the apex. And because it's really wide there, that promotes a lunge. It's good. It's a good idea, really. It ain't bad, my lad. Lance has done it. Yeah, did you say that? Or you said Seb? Or did you say Lance? Either way, Stroll's through, yeah. P8. Stroll's... Aston Martin in general are pretty good. Okay, so we're watching the reason why Zhou's lap time got deleted. Where is he? Exit at turn 12. Yeah, so he's just by a millimetre. Zhou Guanyu running wide at turn 12, goes off the circuit and his lap time deleted. Replay on board with Lewis Hamilton then into turn 1. He's like struggling with understeer and then oversteer on the exit. Whoa. Yeah, really wrestling the car. It is generally unstable there because you're right at the top of the hill. So you're sort of at the crest of the hill as you're turning in. You're trying to put the power down. You're at low speed, low grip. And the cars do generally struggle on the exit of turn one. And Daniel Ricciardo with a full send at turn 7 there and lost the rear end. Oh, that might have been Norris actually. But yeah, Norris is through to Q3 after being knocked out, but then reinstated after Zhou Guanyu's lap time had been deleted. Great quality by Albon. Yeah, so Albon P12 is great. It's a great quality. He's been knocked out, but it's a great qualifying performance from... And I think he'll start 11th because Alonso will be dropped behind him. So I think Albon will start P11. Yeah, P11. He must have heard me. Stroll is actually doing quite good this season. 9th, yeah. He's doing all right, is Stroll. McLaren not looking good. They're not, you know. The thing is, McLaren aren't looking good, right? But Alpine has shot himself in the foot. I don't know why Ocon's down there in like 18th. And then Alonso's got the grid penalty. So we might be in a scenario where neither Alpine nor McLaren get a lot of points tomorrow. And, you know, they're scrambling over P4 in the standings. And you might end up with like one of the 4 of those drivers scraping like a 10th. Well, it depends. Actually, Lando's still got a chance. Lando, but to be honest, I mean, Lando probably line up 9th or 10th anyway. Well, unless he pulls out of madness, you never know. Lando can, Lando could shock us all and go top 6 here, but I'd say it's quite unlikely. So yeah, this Alpine McLaren battle is critical, and neither team seems to be brilliant, which is really weird for Alpine. They've had a few really good strong races, races where they've been like 4th and 6th and results like that, backing really big points. Well, I'll be surprised if they're 4th and 6th tomorrow night. How Albon gets that Williams 12th is beyond me. Mad. When Latifi's like stone dead last every week. Well, except for when it's a mad Japanese Grand Prix where everyone's spinning everywhere. But 9 times out of 10, Latifi's stone dead last, and yet Albon can get it into Q3. He can score the odd point here and there. Work that one out, you know. But that's, well, you don't have to work out. That's why Latifi's not here next season and Alex is. He's had a good run. You know, Latifi's had 3 years. You know, if you're not that good and you get 3 years, I say you got away with 1. You know? No, I think he's got a drive in IndyCar with... I did see an article that Latifi's already got a deal with an IndyCar team. I don't know if it was like... It was one of the big IndyCar teams. I can't remember the name of it. But it was a team I've heard of. A big team in IndyCar. But yeah, so his future's secure anyway. And he'll probably tear it up in the US. You know what I mean? The standard, you got to remember, the standard is creme de la creme. Sharon, welcome in. So you make a video on your sister's account. No worries. Do what you want. Actually, Perez also... Yeah, Perez has got a penalty. So, yeah, Norris, Bottas and Albon could start quite high. They could. Yeah, depending where Perez ends up after the penalty. Anyway, Q3's underway. Is it Gav? It's Gav Harwood, isn't it? It's Gav on his sister's account, is it? I didn't understand what you were saying. I was like, what do you mean? I don't know. I didn't understand it. I get it now. Mad one. Apparently he's a paid driver. Who's that? Oh, Latifi. Yeah, Latifi's dad is like a billionaire, I think. Right, anyway, enough of Latifi's dad. Verstappen, quickest by 1.1 seconds. Verstappen, we're in Q3, pole position shootout, but Leclerc's looking quicker than that. It's Leclerc purple, sector 1 and 2. Verstappen set a 35 flat, but is Leclerc about to absolutely blast that to smithereens? Wow. Leclerc with the penalty, but he might set the fastest lap time of the day. 7.5 minutes to go in this Q3 pole position shootout in Austin, Texas, and Leclerc comes around the final corner. I think someone's beating him in the middle sector, but Leclerc by 0.4 of a second. Leclerc goes on provisional pole with a 1:31.6. Perez goes P3. Oh, mate, Leclerc's going to set the fastest time and start P11, isn't he? This is what's happening. Sainz goes P2. So Sainz on pole. Hamilton goes P3. So it is Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Verstappen. Hey, I tell you what, Mercedes are in the mix here. Hamilton's gone quicker than Verstappen. Really? Here comes George Russell then. Round turn 14. Wide entrance. Clips the apex. Nice and stable on the exit. You usually see a bit of oversteer there. But he's got it pinned flat out round turn 16, 17. Come on, Lewis. Yeah, get in. If it ends like that, Hamilton could be on the front row. He could. Yeah, it could be Sainz, Hamilton front row as it stands. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Russell comes round the final corner. Go on then, George. Bang, P6. 7/10 off the pace. 4/10 slower than teammate Lewis Hamilton. So it is. After the first runs, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez, Russell, Alonso, Norris, Bottas, Stroll. Okay, Stroll's yet to set a lap time. And Leclerc has got a 10-place grid penalty. Perez has got a 5-place grid penalty, which should see him... Well, how would it work? Who would get the penalty first? I don't even know. Would it be Perez down to 10th and then Leclerc would go 11th? It's confusing. Then Alonso would be 12th. The guys in the bottom end, like you were saying, SHT, the guys in the bottom end of the top 10 could end up starting in the top 5. Like Bottas could, like Norris could qualify 8th and end up starting like 5th or something like that. It could be a weird one. They could be promoted 3 places, really. Like Norris and Bottas and like Russell could be promoted like 3 positions if it's all works out right. Yeah, weird one. Oh, Tinder's here. Someone sling that. Cheers, whoever slung that. What are we saying? Kim, do you say you know me from YouTube? Oh, no. If it ends like that, yeah, that's where I was up to. No worries. Stream footy watch-alongs and that. Oh, he's got a YouTube about wrestling. Get in. Alonso 4/10 faster than Norris, yeah. Perez got a 5-place grid penalty, yeah. So like 3 out of the top 10 have all got grid penalties here. Leclerc with a big 10-place. Perez and Alonso with a 5-place penalty, so yeah. Norris and Bottas could be poised for a big promotion as we see Lance Stroll come around the final corner. Go on then, Lance. Bang, P7, let's go. Stroll could end up like 4th. Oh no. Stroll could end up 5th on the grid. I tell you what, Lance Stroll's putting in a hell of a performance here. He's 6/10 quicker than Alonso. He's a second. How is Lance Stroll a second quicker than Lando Norris? And my God, He's 1.2 seconds quicker than Bottas is Stroll. And he's a full second quicker than Lando Norris in the McLaren. There ain't no way. Lance Stroll for the win. No, it must be that, yes, it's a good lap from Lance. But it must be that Lando can improve from there, surely. Lando hasn't put together the lap of his dreams, has he there? Surely. Surely that McLaren isn't a second slower than the Aston Martin. Come on, man. I mean, I know Aston Martin are improving, but that is a madness. Go on, Lance. And the thing is, Perez will move down, Leclerc will move down. Stroll's looking at a P5 at the moment on the grid. Look at him go, I know. What is going on? He's just pulling out of madness, showing everyone he's been sandbagging up till now, and now he's just so I'll show him what I'm about now. You know what I mean? I've had 4 or 5 years to bed in. Now I'll show him. I remember Lance getting a pole position in Turkey once. Yeah. When he used to drive the pink Mercedes. Do people remember that? In the wet, I think it was. Or in the damp. A damp day in Turkey a couple of years ago. Lance slapped it on pole. I was going absolutely nuts, me. I think it was like, I was thinking it was like a Racing Point 1-2. Madness. I'd love to see something like that this year. Why can't we see like a outside pole position? We had a George Russell pole position in Hungary, which was mega. We had Alonso slapping it on the front row in Canada, which was pretty epic. But we've not really had like a, you know, like if Valtteri Bottas just set a purple sector now and went, oh my God, you know, bang, pole out of nowhere. I would love it. Ain't happening. Lando must be top 6. Yeah, Lando's looking at a P8. No, P7 start. Because it's weird, you have to work out. Oh no, you're right. Norris would move up 3. See, Stroll would only move up 2 because he's already ahead of Alonso. Anyway, it's all going to change anyway because they've got another lap to do. If Aston can be like this next season, you never know. This is it. Maybe Alonso's made a good decision. Maybe Alonso's 1 step ahead. I'm always 1 step ahead, so get in. No, maybe, seriously, maybe Alonso has seen something that we all haven't. He's seen behind the scenes at the Aston Martin headquarters and gone, do you know what? This is a project I can back. Anyway, we're on the final laps of Q3. Here we go then. This is for pole position. Charles Leclerc's already at turn 7. And it's purple sector 1 by 2/10. Leclerc is on a heck of a lap. So Leclerc might be fastest driver, but he ain't going to get pole position anyway. But he could be the fastest driver. Which is a weird thing to say, but yeah. Because he's going to end up starting P11 at best. But Leclerc's on a good lap anyway. Sainz and Verstappen are also on flying laps right behind him. Leclerc then up the hill into turn 12 with the DRS wide open. Okay, so Bottas, first one over the line to complete Q3. So Bottas will be P9 at best. Okay, so Bottas is done. Alonso P8 at best. He'll be down in 13th or something like that. Norris goes P8 then. He might be promoted up a couple of places. But yeah, so Norris, Alonso, Bottas at the bottom 3. Perez goes P2 then. So Perez, whoa, it's 21 thousandths of a second difference between Leclerc and Perez. But Leclerc's going to improve. Leclerc's coming round the final corner now and does a 34.4, 2.5 tenths quicker than Perez. Here comes Carlos Sainz then and goes the pole position. Carlos Sainz on the 34.3 on provisional pole position. Can Max Verstappen beat that then? Max Verstappen, Russell only 5th. Verstappen round the final corner. Can Verstappen beat both Ferraris in Q3? No, he can't. It's looking like Yes, Carlos Sainz pole position. Verstappen only third. That'll be promoted to a front row. But it is Carlos Sainz on pole position for the United States Grand Prix. It'll be Verstappen on the front row with him. It'll be Hamilton who'll be promoted up to P3. Russell P4. So it'll be an all Mercedes second row of the grid. It's going to be Sainz, Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell. Stroll is going to start 5th. I'm trying to work this out on the fly, and it ain't easy. Stroll's going to be 5th. Norris is going to be 6th. Then Perez. I don't even know. Then potentially Perez or Bottas will be 7th. It's hard to work out on the fly. But it is, the simple thing is that Carlos Sainz has got a legitimate pole position. He's not been promoted to pole position. Carlos Sainz has taken pole position at the United States Grand Prix with a fantastic lap. It would have been a Ferrari 1-2 on the grid if Charles Leclerc wasn't about to be slung 10 positions. Leclerc will start the Grand Prix from P12. But Ferrari really strong. Ferrari stronger than Red Bull, which we haven't seen for quite a number of races. Verstappen will be promoted to the front row. Stroll P5 on the grid. It's got to be the standout. It's got to be the standout of qualifying is that Lance Stroll will start the US Grand Prix from P5. Perez 9th, Sainz on pole. Yeah, I think Perez will be around 9th, yeah, something like that. Sainz, let's go. Yes, Ernesto. There we go. What a session. I didn't expect Sainz to pull that out of the bag, actually. I thought Verstappen had come round that final corner and... Wow. What a session. Carlos Sainz, pole position. He'll be looking to win his second race of the season after his British Grand Prix win back in July. Sainz is on for another victory. It would be a Ferrari 1-2 on the grid, but... So wait a minute. So the front row is for the race is going to be what was it? Sainz, Verstappen, front row. So Hamilton's going to start 3rd. Yeah, so it'd be all Mercedes second row. So Mercedes will start 3rd and 4th, with Perez getting a penalty, Leclerc getting a penalty, Alonso getting a penalty. It's all going to shake around. I was trying to work it out on the fly as they cross the line, which there's easier things to do in the world. But yeah, that's about it, guys. They're going to be doing the post-quali interviews and all the rest of it. If you have enjoyed the stream, guys... Oh, wait, let me... that's lagging. That's lagging so much. If you have enjoyed the stream, guys, please do drop me a like. Obviously helps me out, helps the channel get noticed. Get enough likes, maybe YouTube will think, do you know what, let's put this guy on the list with the other Formula 1 channels, and then you never know, we might start to grow. Thanks for everyone for watching. I'll be back tomorrow at 7:30 PM UK time for lights out at 8 o'clock. So I'll do a little bit of a preview for 25 minutes or so. You just go through like the results so far this season, do a little bit of a preview. The race starts 8 PM UK time, so it'll be Carlos Sainz ahead of Max Verstappen on the front row. It'll be Hamilton from 3rd, which is interesting, Russell from P4, and Lance Stroll from P5. Thank you everybody for joining me for qualifying. See you all for the United States Grand Prix tomorrow night, 7:30. Be there, guys. See you then. See you later, guys.